Hey, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. Welcome to Open. Hey, coming up on today's show, we'll hear from a good friend of the show. He's known as the Rappin Fireman, and he'll highlight how he's inspiring the next generation of firefighters and so much more. And then we'll go across the pond and walk down the runway with the executive producer and publicist of a fashion company that will be featuring unique clothing designs at the Paris Fashion Week 2025. Plus, we'll hear from an artist about how he's making an impact on the television and film industry, one painting at a time. And finally, we'll hear from a general manager of a local fitness facility that's helping clients get in tip-top shape year-round. So stay tuned, sit back, kick off your shoes, and relax your feet. We're open. Here we go. Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. So stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is a former New York City firefighter and currently serves as the CEO of the Firefighters Children's Foundation. And he joins us to shed a little bit of light on the passion for inspiring the next generation through his foundation and so much more. So please welcome to the show. He's no stranger to the show, and he's been out in the community for a long time. The Rappin Fireman, Mr. John Ruiz Miranda. John, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Bob Lee. Thank you for having me on
John,
the show.
I was going to ask you, since we've known each other for so long, that I was going to ask you to spit 16 for us.
Oh,
no,
absolutely.
you have to do it now. But, we always met up at these different schools, and we were always educating our youth, And it's a wonderful thing to be able to go inside of the schools and do some wonderful things for youngsters who now come up to us and say, hey, I remember you came to our school back in 1980 something or 90 something or 2000. Listen, tell us how you got started in the business and how it all worked out for you.
Well, it was 1978 and they were recruiting for firefighters in New York City.
Yeah.
And my mother and I were up in Fordham Road, and one of the firefighters wanted to give me the application. And I said, I don't want to be a fireman. That people are running out of fires, not inside. I don't want to smell like smoke. I'm a lover, not a fighter. My mother, immigrant from Puerto Rico, bopped me in the head and said, "Stupido." She took the application, she filled it out and sent it in. Then I found out all my friends were taking the fire department test. So then I was like, yeah, I'm taking it too. And out of about 10 of us, I was the only one that made it to the New York City Fire Department.
Wow.
I was appointed in 1983. I was a probationary firefighter in 84, of course. And I was stationed at 35 engine over in East Harlem, 124th Street. And then a family member started a fire by playing with matches. So I brought a firefighter over to her school, and they were talking about the chemistry of fire, the second grade class, and that wasn't working. So on the way out to the playground, I heard these kids, they were rapping the music, and I was DJing like everybody else in the world was, And then I said, man, imagine if there was a rapping fireman. I said, man, how corny could that be? But then, I said, you know what? I could use this new medium, this new language to kind of save some lives.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And I started doing it for free for 7 years, and I went bankrupt. And then all of a sudden, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis gave me the Presidential Award. And then I got a bunch of other awards. I was on a lot of TV shows. And, that's where it began. So this is my 41st year of being the Rappin Fireman. I still go to about 30 schools a year. And we educate children and adults about fire safety and fire prevention, which is so much needed. You hear what's going on in California with all the fires that are out there, the forest fires. It's incredible. the size of the Bronx. That's
Yeah.
how much area is burnt. The size of the Bronx. That's incredible. 24 deaths.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about what's going on now with the California fires? What do you think they're going through?
Yeah, that's, you have 24 deaths. You know, the wind's now up to about 70 miles an hour, so that's going to feed the flames. You have three different fires. You have the Palisades fire, the Eaton fire, and the Hearst fire.
Yeah.
And 40,000 acres. It's about the size of the Bronx that's actually burning.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable the amount of damage and hurt that people are going through right now. When they're literally their history has been it's gone up in flames. All those pictures, all those family photos and the heirlooms and their property just overnight it's just disappeared. 150,000 people had to evacuate.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. 40,000 acres, man. It's
Do you
incredible.
think you think it could have been prevented any kind of way?
That's hard to say because forest fires are just that, forest wildfires. It's not contained to any area, so it just constantly, as long as you have wind, it's always going to expand. It's always going to grow because fire grows by air and wind.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough job for those firefighters there. I commend them on their service. And more so, I hear that there were many people who didn't have insurance, fire insurance. I can't imagine their lives. Right now, I mean, what they're going through it's just incredible. So I ask everyone on your network, everyone that we're reaching out there to say a prayer for those homeowners and those who have lost family. 24 people have died already so far, and hopefully that something happens and contains this fire and it doesn't extend any further.
Yeah, that's that. And I know that you keep abreast of everything that's happening concerning fires and education and things of that nature. So let's switch it over to what inspired the idea behind the Firefighters Children's Foundation?
Well, I was doing the work already,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get any help. When I first started, they said, I was one out of 179 firefighters of color, department of 14,000 firefighters. So we already, we started off on a bad foot, but I thank God that now we have more firefighters of color and even women firefighters. I believe there's over 300 women firefighters.
Yeah.
So as I was educating the communities, people don't know, but in 2004, I started the Firehouse Circus. We had elephants, we had tigers.
Yeah.
We had
I remember that.
a boxing kangaroo. Only thing we were missing was the unicorn. Oh my, And so I started these programs, and nobody was helping me. I was educating. I went to all the politicians. You know how that is. Eventually, I became one, right? And so then I decided, we need a foundation. We need to be able to spread this message to save lives, to continue to save lives, to continue to educate. I was always involved in theater. My mother always told me, theater is beautiful, but make sure you have a job because you still got to pay your rent and you still have to eat. And that's where being a firefighter helped me out tremendously. I started in 2010, the East Harlem Repertory Theater. And since then, we've brought plays like Mandela to the Broadway district, to high schools, to Catholic schools, to public schools. We just finished Scrooge at Riverbank State Park. We have Pathways to Freedom next Wednesday at the Jamaica Library. We've done Motown, we've done Freedom Fighters, we've done tribute to African-American inventors. And at the same time, we're giving actors a job, because theater is suffering right now. Community theater is suffering.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things that we've done. We're also doing concerts now, which we can talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
At the same time, still going to schools.
Yeah. But you do have that concert coming up.
Yes, we do.
It's a fundraiser, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Everything that we do is a fundraiser. We're a non-for-profit organization. All proceeds go to our Firefighters Children's Foundation so we can do these wonderful things. We have a cartoon that we're working on, a 3D animated cartoon called The Rappin Fireman and His Safety Friends, man.
There you go.
big. Watch out, Disney. We're coming for you.
Here we come. The Rapping Fireman and his safety friends.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. It's an animated cartoon. We're working on the trailer right now and see where it can go from there. But everybody knows me, man. You know, I
Yeah.
go to schools and I'll see a teacher that pull me on the side and say, you know, I was a kid in the school when you came and taught me fire safety. You know, so I run into a lot of people that thank God that remember me for the work that I've done in the community.
Yeah, beautiful. You know, and I've known you for years, as we mentioned before, and you've been doing this for a while. And I was wondering, are the elected officials helping you out, or the fire department, any other unions helping you out
Well,
as far as
well,
fundraising?
some of the electeds, you know, they've contributed, you know, through discretionary funding, very, very small amounts.
Yeah.
Our organizations continue to educate in their community. You know, fires don't discriminate. They're all over the place. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't matter you live in the Bronx in a high rise and a low rise, or you know, if you have a $10 million apartment, it doesn't matter. You know, and so, but it's not enough. It's never enough for the amount of work that we're doing. So this is where we have to raise some money in order to continue to grow as a foundation, to be able to extend the word out to all the communities.
Yeah.
And you know, we go to Staten Island too. That's one of the places that we go to quite often, especially in June. We go there, put on about 10 shows, and you know, everyone, you know, whether you're white, black, Latino, and Asian, you know, fire doesn't discriminate. You need that message. You need that knowledge. You need that education.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, no one will give it to you.
What are schools learning after one of your shows?
Okay, well, they're learning that they need to have a working smoke detector and to test that smoke detector at least once a week. You know, your smoke detector is your first line of defense. While you're sleeping, that smoke detector is your armed guard. It's working 24/7. So it's going to give you those valuable seconds that you don't have to begin with to get out alive, you know? And also about having a fire escape plan. That's very important. Two ways out: the front door and also the fire escape. And when you leave, close the door behind you.
Close the door.
Close the door behind you so that the air doesn't feed the fire and the smoke goes out in the hallway. Because what kills you first is the smoke, because of the smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
The fire is what gets you later, but the smoke is what kills you first. Having a multi-purpose fire extinguisher, everyone should have one. It should be located in the kitchen. It's going to put out those grease fires, those electrical fires, and any type of fires. And keep matches and lighters and candles away from children.
Yeah. And some of the things you used to rap about back in the day, I know a new one you can probably do. It's called Get Low.
Stay low and go. That's right. You know, one thing I learned, that there's always a little air down low on the ground. So if you ever have to escape from a scene and there's a lot of smoke, lay on the ground, suck up the air from right at the bottom. That's going to give you enough air for you to breathe.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you put your hand up against the wall, that'll either lead you to a door or a window.
Yeah. Was there any situation that you were in while fighting fires that you can say was extremely dangerous for you, where you didn't think that, you know, you would survive it?
You know, Bob, they tell you that if you're ever lost in a fire and there's someone that's blind in there, grab a hold of him because he knows how to get out. You know, in a fire, you can't see anything. You can't see the hand in front of your face because of smoke, and the intense heat is going to bring you down to the ground. You know, the gases rise high. So, you know, there's times that while you're in the fire, a room so simple, a room the size of this can feel like a gymnasium. So now imagine if you're in a gymnasium, if you're in an apartment that's really a large apartment, you can't see the walls. You can't see anything. So there's no telltale sign of where you're at in that room. So it's always, you know, in your mind, you're trying to figure out, where am I at? You know, I always like when I see the fire, when I'm in a fire situation, because I know that it's right there. Once I put it out, it's over. But it's getting to it that you're going to run into the smoke.
Yeah.
and there's no visibility at all. It's going to seem like you're in a gymnasium, which is crazy. We had a job down at the we're going back over 30 years ago, down at the Lincoln Tunnel, where all you kept doing is going downstairs, going downstairs, going downstairs. Oh my God. And you can't see anything. So you imagine you just going downstairs and it's like your mind is racing 100 miles a minute. Where am I? When am I going to reach the bottom? And what to expect when I get to the bottom?
Yeah.
So, but when I got on the job, the Bronx was still burning. So I was at 3514, and then I decided I want to go to the busiest firehouse in the world, which is 48 Engine up in the South Bronx.
Yeah.
Boy, we had like 20 runs a night.
Wow.
We always had workers. We had little emergencies, big emergencies, warehouse fires, and different things like that. So,
All right. Wow. And I know you've been through it, man, and God bless you and thank you for your service.
Very welcome.
Give me the information for the concert because we want to help you raise some money for this.
Sure. It's the R&B Soul
right
Classic Valentine's concert. It's Saturday, February 8th, 2025 at Co-op City Auditorium. It's the newly renovated Co-op City Auditorium. It's nice. They got a really monster sound system.
Yeah.
They're located at 177 Drives a Loop. You want to get your tickets? You can call 646-771-2032 or go to rnbclassicevents.com.
And check it out. I'm going to throw to a quick video. Check this out.
The R&B Soul Classic Valentine's Concert, Saturday, February 8th, at the newly renovated Co-op City Auditorium, 177 Dreiser Loop, Bronx, New York, starring the silky smooth voice of the Love Man, Keith Washington. And Wilbur Hart, originating of the Delphonics, will teach you the meaning of love. And First Choice has your love prescription. Appearing live at the Co-op City Auditorium, join your hosts, Kenny Wu, Peter Wayne, and introducing Angela Joseph, guaranteed to be a love festival. Receive a $10 discount with code New Year. Sponsored by the Co-op City Theater Club, with all proceeds going to our Firefighters Children's Foundation.
There he goes. That's dope right there. It's going to be nice. Is this up on your website?
Yes, it is. If you go to rnbclassicevents.com, we're on Facebook under Co-op City Events and Concerts. And it's also on ofcfnyc.com and mandelaNYC.com.
John, thank you so much for your service and thank you for all that you do. We will see you there.
Thank you so much.
All
and
right.
I could just say this. Thank you so much.
All right. Catch you another day, another way. All right, we'll take a quick break. I've got more open coming up next. And welcome back. Our next guest is the executive producer and publicist for New York City Live. It's Fashion Week. It's going to be a beautiful thing. He does some wonderful work. He's with us today to speak about the upcoming Paris Fashion Week Fall Winter 2025 showcase and highlight the work that he is doing with his foundation. Well, that's another thing that you may be putting together, I don't know, but his fashion company, Exposure Modeling. So he's going to be talking about that, and maybe he'll add on what we just said. Welcome to the show, William Michael Reid. Welcome, man.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for having me.
I don't know, maybe we brought up something that it could be a thing. It happens like that every now and then.
Yes, sir.
So who knows? So tell us about what you've been doing, man. I know the last thing we did was up in South Carolina.
Yes, we did something down in South Carolina back in August of 2023. It was something to honor my dad and my dad's side of the family. He's from South Carolina area, for which you were the host for.
Yeah.
And then soon thereafter, I wanted to do something here in New York, about a month later, but it was such an exhausting year in early 2023. So I said, I'm going to take a season off. And then going into the beginning of calendar year 2024, I had an idea that I've been holding back for about 3 decades. And that was to therefore do something in Paris, France.
Oh, I was out there, man.
During the actual Olympics.
Yeah.
So my first time ever in France was as a 24-year-old back in 1993. So I waited about 31 years to finally bring something there to Paris. Not Paris Fashion Week, but also something in line with the Summer Olympics. So when the Olympics were announced that Paris would be the host city back in September 2017, that gave me like a 7-year lead to kind of do something. So we held down an event on August 9th there in France. We featured 11 designers. And that's when I said, okay, now I'm on to something. So about a month or two later, as September, October rolled around, people were like, okay, what are you doing next? I said, just, relax, be patient. I'm working on something. And then right after Thanksgiving, I said, okay, we're going to come back strong. We're going to celebrate 2025 in a way that obviously a lot of folks probably were not expecting. NYC Live was originally born in early 2015. So coming into this year was our 10th anniversary. We had done 16 seasons of NYC Live at Fashion Week in New York. You had, of course, hosted a few of those. Yeah. But I wanted to do something different. I wanted to take our show on the road. So I've always wanted to do the 4 majors here in New York, yes, but also London, Paris on calendar, and also Milan. So I chose to go with Paris in March. So our date is Friday, March 7th in France on the calendar.
All right.
Yeah.
I love France. My son lives in London. I went to visit him, and then him and my daughter, we took the train. And went out to France, and we had a ball, I tell you.
It's like New York. It's just a different vibe. Yeah. But I fell in love with it, like I said, 31 years ago, and as a 24-year-old at the time. But it's like another New York.
It is.
And as I told my brother, of course, this is something I wanted to do. I said, you know what? If I have the opportunity and the timing is right, I said I want to do something over there because that's kind of like uncharted territory for a lot of shows here in New York. And of course, something for New York Fashion Week. I said, okay, let me just put off a season and focus my energies on doing something over there. So I got 53 days.
Yeah. Well, can people still be a part of it? Speak about how the opportunity to be a part of Paris Fashion Week 2025.
Yes. Right now we have 3 designers. You're probably familiar with a few of them. Alvey Alexander, who's like a sister to me. Malcolm Staples. Yes. Just came aboard this past week. We have another designer named Amy Chu out of Malaysia. Yeah. A few others that I actually am kind of like looking at their work to determine exactly if it's a great fit. We're only going to feature about maybe 6 or 7 designers at the most. Our location is a beautiful 5-star location called the Hotel Napoleon Champs-Élysées, which is about a half block for the Arc de Triomphe. So, great location. The event, like I said, is on Friday, March 7th. So during the calendar of Paris Fashion Week. So I want to kind of like let models know, designers know, press media, those who like to travel abroad, and those who have actually been a part of our shows here in New York, whether it be Fashion Week in New York or during events that we've held during the NBA All-Star weekends or swim weeks in Miami or even the Super Bowl. Hey, we're taking NYC Live on the road. So that's why I called it NYC Live at Fashion Week in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're looking for, you said you're going to have 7, you have 3 right now.
I have 3 out of the 7.
Amy.
Amy Chu, she's a shoe designer out of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She was referred to me by a designer already in Paris who did our show this past August. Of the 11 designers who did our show on August 9th during the Olympics, one of them was like, hey, we have designers that want to do our show, but let's split them. Let's have them do your show on the 7th and our show on the 8th. Yeah. So we're kind of working together, myself and a few other would-be producers there in France.
And why is this event so important for exposure modeling?
Great question, Bob. I just being honest, I've been in fashion 39 years. I just turned 56 in September. So, coming close to 60 years old, I said, okay, it's time to therefore figure out what have I not done versus what I still may wish to do and while I have the time left to still do it. Yeah. So the energy is there, the ability is there, but tomorrow's never promised. And I learned that when we did the show that you were part of in South Carolina back in the summer of 2023. That was a dedication to my dad and that side of the family. But I wanted to honor my mom and my dad by therefore fulfilling something that I may not have had a chance to do years before, that I virtually want to do while I have the chance to do it now.
Yeah. And so after you do Paris, are you coming back to New York to do something?
New York is on par for September of this year. I thought, believe it or not, back in the September month of maybe doing February of this year, but I said, you know what, too close together. I said, let me focus on March 7th in France, and then I've actually been asked by people over in London to consider bringing something there in the fall. But of course, I'm looking at coming back to New York City strong, and if everything goes right on the calendar year for February of 2026, the Olympics will be in Milan, Italy. So I'm thinking I'm taking another run and doing something for the Olympics, but also if the calendar is right, and with the Olympics being in Milan, Italy, that's the Winter Games, then maybe do something out there. So therefore, that's something I could cross off.
I may go to that one, I've never been to Italy.
It's beautiful. Rome and Milan and Capri.
Now, when you were in the service, did you travel around to these different places?
No, believe it or not, that's something that I've always wanted to do in terms of traveling. But, going to Italy, I was actually helping other people. This is something I want to do on my own. And it's something that I think if I can do it, that can mirror what we've done in New York by establishing our brand here, whether it be in New York or anywhere else here in the States. I want to travel and do things over in Europe, in Asia, Africa, the Middle East, the Caribbean, and South America as well.
Yeah. They're waiting for you, man.
Yeah, I have some things lined up, but like I said, I want to take it in increments. And of course, I'll discuss it with you, on air, off air, it doesn't matter. Because, of course, my passion. I throw everything I have into it. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication. It could be fulfilling, but at times it can be very stressful. And that's why I chose not to do twice this past year, February, September, and once more in February of 2025.
How's the family? How's your brother?
My brother's doing okay. As a matter of fact, one of the things he had asked me while he was there with us back in August, the beginning of this past year, he said, look, man, I've never been there. I want to go there. It was great because while we were there, he was like, okay, what do you want me to do? I said, just have fun. To me, Paris is like another New York for me. But he had such a blast. We actually were watching the Olympics finals between USA and France, both on the men's side and women's side. But he said, look, man, let's go back. So when I told him around Thanksgiving, I said, look, man, I'm going to go for it. He said, really? So he bought his ticket and his flight and everything before I did. And he actually arrives on the day of the show. Yeah, he was like, because he wants to go. So he was like, look, man, I'm not going to, get in the way. He said, I see how you operate. Do your thing, but I'm going out there to have fun. I said, I'm going out to work. So it's a job for me. For
you
him,
guys
it's a
always
vacation.
Bumping heads, but you love each other.
You met my brother John, and of course, he told me, he said, look, man, if I get a chance to go out there a second time, which would be his second, he said, I'm going to make up for lost time from back in August of last year. So I said, all right.
Where can people go for more information on the
Everything is on our website, NYC Live that's nycliveatfashionweek.com. Our tickets went on sale on Christmas Day. On all of our social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My handle is WMMICHAELREID or NYC Live at Fashion Week.
Now, you have taken this on a global scale now. How does that bring you? How does that look for you?
It's something, like I said, I've always wanted to accomplish, but I know this is a first. I've actually been a part of Fashion Weeks in Paris over the years, but I was over there helping other folks. My last Paris Fashion Week event was back in October of 2014 as a helper, as a co-producer. But it's been 10 plus years, and I said this will be my first ever self-produced fashion event during Paris Fashion Week. So I'm going all out or going all in to bring what I've done in New York over there and therefore establish roots there in Europe.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with everything, man.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything, and we'll see you on the surf. I'll probably meet you in Milan or something like that.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. That'd be hot.
Well, give me the website one more time.
www.nycliveatfashionweek.com.
William Michael Reid, Executive Producer, Publicist, NYC Live Fashion Week.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, we've got to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Open next. And welcome back. Hey, our next guest is no stranger to the show. We'll hear from an artist whose work has been featured in over 30 films, including Die Hard 3, Strictly Business, and Malcolm X. His work captures the hearts of audiences across the country, and he's with us today to speak about his new art brand and how to reflect on his journey as an artist. So please welcome to the show, Bernard, the artist Jackson. Bernard, welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for inviting me back.
Hey,
Dr.
man.
Bobby.
I see you got all the stuff behind you. You got the cafe picture. You got the bass guitar and all that stuff.
Yeah, this is my new paintbrush. This is my new direction as an artist. I'm trying to make it do what it do. Soon I'll be performing with it. You know, so it's kind of like another phase for me as an artist. And then this is a piece that I did with my new brand of color caulking.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, you spoke about that before, right? The color caulking?
Yes, so we've got a new line of colored caulking. Like you got watercolor, you got oil, you got acrylics. We got colored caulking, and it comes in 196 different colors.
Wow.
And soon it'll be in all the major outlets. And it's an amazing product. It took me about 20 years to develop it. And it's, I mean, it doesn't reduce down, it doesn't shrink. I mean, it works well, it's tactile. And we're introducing it to the film industry because for texture, it's amazing.
So wait a minute, that's your personal invention.
Yes, it's my personal invention. It's my trademark, my copyright, my brand, and it's called Bernard.
And that's going to be on all the sets.
Well, we're introducing it to the film industry now. I'm getting away from working as a scenic artist full time, and I'm being elected to work as a union rep. And so my thing is to diversify the industry, bring more people of color in the industry, and make our film industry stronger. So there's an election coming up, and I hope I get voted in to be one of the union reps.
The union of SAG-AFTRA? Which union?
No, I'm local 829.
829.
Yep, the United Scenic Artists Union. And so the carpenters build it, we paint it. So anything that has to do with marbleizing, wood graining, aging, distressing, that's what we do as scenic artists.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And so I've been doing this for 40-something years.
I hear you've done some work with Spike Lee. Is that coming up or negotiating something?
I worked with Spike on his first major film, which was Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Spike wrote a letter to the union and allowed four artists to become scenic artists. And I was one of the first artists to ever become a scenic artist in the United Scenic Artists Union.
Beautiful.
And if it wasn't for Spike pushing, he was the catalyst to get us into the union.
I'm gonna tell him about that. I'm gonna say, hey man, I spoke to Bernard Jackson. He said you helped him out a whole lot.
Oh, if it wasn't from him, it would not have been possible. And so now we've got a lot of shows that we're doing at my gallery in South Orange, New Jersey. We've got a big show we're doing at the Union County Performing Arts Center, which my artwork will be there. And we just got a bunch of shows we're doing. And things are moving really well. This is the new series called The Red Umbrella. And it features this young lady all over the world walking with this red umbrella.
Look at that.
And it's kind of like a spinoff on the red bottom shoes.
Yeah, see? See, you got some ideas. I think it's going to come to fruition for you.
Yeah. And so things have been really going well. The gallery in South Orange is doing extremely well. The caulking line is exploding. And so, now that the film industry is kind of like totally turned around, this is another piece in the Red Umbrella series. And so it features a young lady walking, and it's always with a grayish background. The other one you see has more of a colorful background to it.
Yeah.
And they're all done in color caulking. And so soon the pieces will be in certain stores along with the caulking line.
Yeah. There's something about those umbrellas. They have a umbrella display in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
There's a huge history behind the Red Umbrella. Back in the early 40s, the female ladies of the night used to be discriminated against. And so they started walking around with the red umbrella. And so the red umbrella was a way of protesting against the way they were treated, the bad treatment. And so when I did my research on the red umbrella, it just stands out so much. It's like a red bottomed shoe. It has such a je ne sais quoi about it, such an elegance about it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say black, it doesn't say white, it just says beauty.
Yeah, yeah. And you did something for Iroku?
Yeah, well, I did a piece of our incaulking, and we presented it to
Look at him go.
On the Today Show. It was amazing to see.
Yeah.
I was wrestling with my own prostate issue, and Al was wrestling with his prostate issue. And so he inspired me to go get tested.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to give him a piece to thank him for encouraging me to get tested.
Wow. Beautiful.
And then last week, we presented a piece to Hoda.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a Hoda copy. We dropped it off at the studio because, you know, she's just been such an amazing person, and I wanted to honor her. So I did a caulking of her, and we dropped it off at the Today Show at the Plaza.
Oh, wow. I want one.
All you got to do is send me one of those nice pictures of your face.
I'm only kidding. But thank you so much. Yeah, I know you've been featured on today's show for a while, a couple of times, right?
Yes, sir.
I know you had that conversation with Iroku. How did you find out that he was dealing with the prostate issue?
Well, you know, I follow Al constantly on the show, and I heard him and watched him working out on his workout regimen, and I've been following him. And you know, he's very open and honest about his issues. And so, you know, as black men, we have a tendency to kind of like suppress our health issues.
Yeah.
And hearing him talk openly about it, and hearing my fiance and everybody said, hey, you know, you've got these issues in your family, you know, because it runs in my family. You know, I said, you know, I was afraid to get tested.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I got tested, it was just terrifying, you know, because of the long wait, not knowing. And, you know, they found some issues. They said, you know, you need to change your diet. You need to, you know, we need to do some more tests, you know, and it came back that I'm healthy.
Yeah.
But, you know, my gift to myself every year is to get tested twice a year.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to get tested. You know, we can't just put our head in the sand and act like it's going to go away. You know, it's a big problem in the African American community.
Yeah.
Prostate cancer.
That's right. Well, God bless you. Listen, you have some projects coming up, right? The art galleries. We'd like to know so we can come and show up and be a part of it.
Oh, yeah. We're right in the village of South Orange, New Jersey. We're at 11 Vos Avenue. And we've got several shows. You can go to our website, Bernard the Artist. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you can find out about all the events that we're having at the gallery. We'd love to have you to come out. You know, we feature a lot of shows at the gallery.
And you've been teaching the next generation too about this. This new
I've been
chalking.
working a lot with the young people, trying to teach them about the buying and selling of art. How do you eat as an artist? You know, because as a young artist, you know, people told me you're never going to survive. You're never going to be able to support yourself. And that is so not true. You know, I've been very successful as an artist. And my thing is to encourage these young people to pursue their talent. My daughter's working now in the film industry. She's working with Queen Latifah. She's one of the lead PAs. My son worked with me on Saturday Night Live. You know, as a scenic artist. And my younger daughter, she's in the studio performing as an artist. You know, she's a singer, dancer. And so my thing is to, just like I encourage my kids to do it, I want to encourage other young people to go ahead and leap off that cliff. It's okay
Take
to
that
not
leap
know
of faith.
Yeah, that leap of faith. You know, that's how we come up with the next, you know, Michael Jackson. You know, we need these kids to pursue their dreams and their passions, and we need our parents to support them while they pursue those dreams. I'm sorry, that's a part of it.
And then they look up to you, and you've done work on SNL, and they, you know, how does it feel to, you have that experience, and kids are looking up to you to say, "Hey, he has that. I want to be like that too."
Yeah.
Can you help
Oh
me
man,
out? Can you help a brother out?
It's so amazing. They come to me at the gallery and they say, I've worked on SNL, The View, Tamarind Hall. We just finished working on Tracy Morgan's new show called Crutch.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done hundreds and hundreds of shows, and the most phenomenal part was working with my son and my daughter on Saturday Night Live. It was just amazing just to look at them and to be able to share that with young people, because when they can see me as a person of color or working on the set and I can talk to them, it makes it real to them. It gives them a reality to touch. They can say, I can do that. If he did it, coming out of South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, Benedict College, if he can do that, I can too. And so, I just want to be able to be an infectious artist for other young people.
Beautiful. Tell us about your work before we go about the Help USA.
Help USA is one of the brand sponsors. Our line is being developed and manufactured by homeless people. So that's our brand. And so we're working with Help USA. I just got picked up by Park West Gallery, which is the largest gallery in the world. We just signed the contract with them.
All right.
And so along with Park West, they're going to be able to move me to a whole nother level as an artist.
There you go. Man, God has blessed you and you're blessing others. It's a beautiful circle of love.
I am so blessed. I live a dream, Dr. Bali. I live a dream, and it can happen for any person, but you got to keep pushing. You can't ever stop.
Yes. What new projects are you working on? Are you looking forward to doing in 2025 and beyond?
Well, right now I've got a new show that we're in the process of producing. It's called On the Canvas with Bernard.
Ah.
Yes.
I like it.
And I actually am sitting on, you remember Bob Ross? The white guy with the big afro?
Yeah.
Well, I do a painting on Facebook. It takes me about 45, 30 minutes, and I'm having a conversation. So instead of an afro, I'm the bald black guy without an afro. Wow. And so, we're developing it. It's called On the Canvas with Bernard, and I'll be working on a piece and having a conversation with people on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, while I'm working on the piece.
Yeah.
In my studio.
I like that. Beautiful. And well, you can't see the picture that I'm looking at right now, but it's like a Union soldier with a pistol with the flag behind him.
Which one? Oh!
The Black Heritage series.
Oh, yeah. That was a series I did years and years and years ago. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then you got a young man saluting in front of a flag.
Yep. That was called Little Soldier.
Yeah. And then you have, it looks like the Wall of Paris. You have armies behind it and a man holding up his hand. I can't explain.
I can't see that piece. That was probably a part of the series, the Heritage series that I did years and years ago.
Yeah, I think so. Uh-huh. Hey, listen, thank you for all that you do and continue to do. We appreciate you, man.
Hey, Dr. Bobby, thank you so much.
It looks good.
Because this is what makes it work when you give me the opportunity and a platform to talk about my works.
Well, you're always welcome here. Our house is your house.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Bobby.
Right.
And I got to get you to the gallery. I want to do a caulking of you.
Let's do it. Call me. Give me a call. Let's make that happen. Give me a call.
I'm going to give you a call.
You got it. For sure.
Right,
my producer will hook up the information and all that. We'll make it happen.
Please, let's do it. I'm really excited.
We'll put it right out here in the studio.
All right.
All right. Hey, listen, thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Right. Take care.
All right. Bernard Jackson, the artist. He's got it going on, got the new inventions going on and all that. And you see him right here on Open. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back. I've got a little bit more for you. Stay tuned. Hey, here we go. Gaaniru Iroku's here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. He's our last guest, but he's no stranger to the show. We've been hanging out with him for a little bit. General Manager of D1 Training, Ridge Hill. And he's here with us to speak about how he and his team are helping others reach their health and fitness goals in 2025. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Welcome
there
to
you
be
go.
back.
Gaaniru,
yeah.
I was going to pronounce it the other way, but Gaaniru.
Yes.
Iroku.
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 Yeah.
Iroku.
Yeah.
Cool. Got it now. Gaaniru Iroku. So you've been doing this for a little bit. D1, talk about D1 and what it means and all that stuff and how you got started in this.
Yeah. D1 is home of the athlete. We train scholastic ages from ages 7 all the way up to 18. We also train adults as well. We help you choose a goal, right? That's our moniker. You choose a goal, we'll help you get there.
Yeah.
So some people want to work on their speed. Some athletes want to work on strength training, losing weight. Whereas adults, a lot of times these were like former athletes at some point in their life, and they kind of
Like me.
identify. Yeah. So once you walk into our space, you'll start to, I guess, get that nostalgia, right? Where it's like, I remember what this was like training like an athlete. And we really like to create that atmosphere for our adults, which are people over 19 and up.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, fun fact, after the age of 30, you're not likely to run full speed. You're not likely to sprint at all, right? So, and it applies some people, some people, and that could be for me too. Like if I didn't still play football, I do think to myself, like I drive, I get out of my car, I go to where I go, then back into the car, you know? So it's like, how often am I really running? And D1 is a place, even for an adult, to tap into that inner athlete, right? That mobility, which is super important, because you want to be at a certain age and still be mobile and fluid, and you might have family and, you know, generational thing.
There's something that they caught me running in a New York City Marathon.
Did they?
But I still have my coat and everything on.
Okay.
So you know I wasn't running the whole thing. But I was broadcasting.
Yeah.
But I said, let me interview somebody that's running the Percy Sutton 1 mile area in Harlem. So I got out there and I was running with them. After that I only ran 1 block, but after that 1 block, I was tired. I was running.
Yeah.
But I was tired as heck after that.
We don't really run as much as we should. Talking about, you know, the everyday person, right? You know, you got your fitness junkies who make it a priority to be running like 8 miles, 10 miles. But yeah, that's what we do for our adult programs, for sure.
Are these guys balling or what? I'm talking about football.
Yeah.
The wild card and all that stuff. These guys are going off.
Yeah.
Like each one is like it's like a Super Bowl within itself.
Yeah.
I enjoy this more than the Super Bowl.
I do, yeah, because the stakes are high, especially, you know, right now you have like the wild card teams. This is when the fan bases are like very hopeful, right? Like, you know, the teams that just made in the playoffs. Yeah. That was us in New York, Giants, right? The two times we went to the Super Bowl. I think one of them we entered as a wild card team. But just to touch on that, the athletes that we train, the scholastic age, talking about them, you know, one of the keys that we always teach in class is to train with intent, right? Meaning, you know, we don't want athletes to just come and think you're just passing time, or maybe your parents brought you here, or whatever the case may be. Be very intentional with the workouts that you're doing, the drills that you're doing. Put yourself in your field or court or tennis court, you know, like put yourself in those positions. So when you're doing these workouts, you're visualizing how it plays, you know what I mean, in your game. And the reason why that's so important is you just spoke on the playoff atmosphere, right? All those players that you saw this past weekend have done hundreds of mental reps before the game. They did not wait till the game before they started thinking on what they were going to do weeks in advance, even when they're doing their drills, like they're putting themselves in the game. And we always prioritize our athletes to do the same exact thing. Yeah,
and you try to visualize what you're going to go through and how you want it to work and how you see the thing in a successful way.
Absolutely.
Somebody just starting out, what do you tell them? What do they have to do? What are some of the steps they need to take?
Well, give yourself grace, number one. At D1, we prioritize programming. The thing about an athletic training facility is we're trying to get you to point A to point B as fast as possible. So what that means for someone that's coming in, you may walk in and you may see people who are doing the most and lifting the heaviest and things like that, and you might feel like you're out of place. But everyone starts somewhere, right? And that's the good thing about our programs. We bring you on a week to week. Every single progression that you made, 1 week, you're maximizing off of the prior week, and we build you up. So you just give yourself grace, take your time, learn your body, right? We do testings for you to know your body, to know what your body is capable of doing. And we just slowly just shatter and break those goals.
I'm smiling because I started working with this personal trainer. My birthday is in March.
Hey, what day?
March 27th.
I'm March 6th.
Yeah, there you go. So I started, I think I started in February, and I wanted to go all the way through past my birthday and be like, kind of in shape when my birthday hit. So the guy was trying to find out how old I was. And he was making me do, young kid stuff. I was like, I said, I'm hanging out.
Yeah.
He said, Joe, and he's asking me questions pertaining to trying to figure out where I was, because I was trying to do everything that he put me on to.
Yeah.
But then I said, well, wait a minute. Give me some time in between to catch my breath. He said, no, you got to get in the habit of keep going. You got to keep going. Yeah. I said, but just let me breathe a little bit more before I get on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And he said, all right, well, I'll work with you. Mm-hmm. It was a tough thing, but it was good.
It was good.
It turned out well.
And that's why you have a trainer, right? Another thing at D1 is we push you, right? We want you to get those results and for you to get the goals that you were looking for. But more importantly, we love when we have clients that they get to their goal and then they get to more, and they had no idea that was even possible, right? You might come in saying, hey, I just want to lose like 15 pounds. And then boom, you lost 25. And you're like, I didn't even know that was possible, right? That's some of the things that we love to push and drive to at D1.
And then people come to you, they say, you look a little different, you look a little brighter. What's you're doing something. What you doing?
As people, we love social status, man. It is what it is, right? So fitness is related to that some way, shape, or form. Where you want to look good for your family. You haven't seen your family in a while, or you want to look good because back in the pandemic days, the remote was ending. It was time to go back in the office, so everyone was trying to shape up to look good, right? Because we were all sitting around. Everything is linked to some level of social, right? Some people internally want to feel good too. Don't get me wrong.
It helps with everything. Libido. I mean, your girl says, hey, what you been working on?
Yeah, like when you feel. When you're mobile and you're able to move around, it does exude confidence like no other, right? Just being at a certain age and still moving and still operating, it's really good.
So you've been doing it for some time now, and you said people can start at any age.
People can start at any age. Yeah.
What does D stand for?
Division. So D1 stands for Division 1.
Division 1, yes.
Yeah, Division 1, top colleges in the country. The reason why we call ourselves Division 1 is because when you go to a Division 1 facility, the reason that they usually get the top athletes is because they have the top resources, right? Top of the line training facilities, personal trainers, fitness plans.
I get it.
What we do is we take those same resources and we give them to our athletes in our facilities, giving them the edge. The athletic edge to train. Now, how we do that is we are backed by former D1 athletes such as Chris Paul, Tim Tebow, Peyton Manning, just to name a few. These guys are all a part of our team to help ensure that we're giving that Division I programming, hence the name D1.
There you go. How important is eating?
Eating is very important.
I mean, not just to be eating, but I'm talking about to go along with the workout and the D1 program.
Yeah, it's very important. Eating is important as you are a teenager developing, right? You want to make sure you're eating the right foods, things like that. It's really important if you're on the older side, right? Where you want to preserve your body, make sure that you're eating the right things. It's also important for weight loss. You might want to increase your protein intake. Kind of count your macros, which is a whole nother thing to get into, right? But eating is really important. I would say you shouldn't skip that aspect when you're working out, for sure.
What are some of the exercises that you do for for older adults?
For all that, you could do resistance bands if you don't want to do the weights. We can do the weights. That's the whole point of when you first come into our facility, we do what we call a fitness assessment.
Yeah.
That's where we test you on a range of things.
That's good.
Mobility,
That's good, yeah.
strength. And in those readings, the results, it lets us know if we want to start with weights. Can we still do weights? Do we want to focus on resistant bands? Do we want to do just calisthenics? It all ranges, and that's the beauty of fitness, right? It's to each his own, in a sense. So yeah, but for older people, I would say definitely resistant bands, definitely calisthenics, and work our way up to weightlifting for sure.
But it feels good being in shape, I tell you that.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
You're right about the confidence and the whole mental and the whole thing that goes along with it. You know.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
like it.
Yeah, it's you telling your brain that you have a certain level of discipline, right? When you know you have a certain level of discipline, it exudes that confidence.
Beautiful. Yeah. Where can we go for more information to give me a hard rap right here?
No worries. You can find us on Instagram at D1RichHill_. That's where we drop all of our stuff. We got a lot of fun, exciting things on there, and soon to come, going into Q1 of the new year, which is the most important time of fitness. So definitely please reach out, follow, share, and yeah.
Say it with me. Gaaniru
Iroku.
There
Yes.
you go.
You just told me to progress in life.
That's what it means.
That's
right?
what it means.
Progress
yeah.
in life.
Progress. Yeah.
Move forward. Progress in life. Move forward.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank our guests for joining us and you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. You can continue to follow us on BronxNet TV for continued coverage. And thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. Join our hosts, Kevin Arlene, Darren Jaime, and Rena Valentine. They come up with the new episodes of Open. And always remember this, what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. Of the Dr. Bob Lee. I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. I love you all. Peace.